Hello and welcome to This Week in Metropolis with me, James, and that guy over there, Matt. This Week in Metropolis is a show all about the world of pop culture from the last 7 days. Although, seeing as this is the premiere of season 12, we'll be talking a little bit more than 7 days about all the highs and lows in the world of pop culture from the last month, because it's been that long, Matt. But where can the viewers and listeners find us?
I'm sure you know already. After 12 seasons, I'd hope you would know that you can find us here now, 9 o'clock tonight, or you can watch back on Twitch and you can watch back on Facebook. Or if you prefer listening to us, you can listen to us on Amazon, on Google, on Spotify, on cassette, whatever you prefer. So yeah, check us out. But before then, how about this?
The latest pop culture news with your hosts, James and Matt. Welcome to This Week in Metropolis.
Check us out.
Welcome.
Wow, what is going on? Anyone would think we're getting professional or something with this new stuff going on.
That's it. It's all the Silicon Valley investment that we got in the last month that allowed us to have high production values.
Well, it's not just that, Matt. You've been working your absolute butt off with creating new stuff. So credit to you where
you.
it's deserved. And well, we're back. Season 12. And, you know, every season we kind of question how we've made it this far. But
I thought you was going to say every season we question, why do we do this? And shall we ever go on?
This?
Exactly. It's waste time, isn't it?
But yeah, we're here. We're back. We've been buzzing today to get this. We've spoken a few times. It's not just today, though, is it? We've been buzzing for like the last week or two.
We have. And so generally before this show, and it doesn't always happen because we've been doing it for so long, before this particular show this evening, I had like a nervous energy. I felt like I was about to do a gig or something like that. It was like, huh?
A panic attack.
Panic attack, yeah. No, 12 hours in A&E, I was fine. But yeah, here we are. But what I wanted to talk about, because before last year, I think it was season 9, I probably should have done my research, but we started that season right in the beginning of last year. So the first episode came out around the same sort of time. So one of the things we spoke about was New Year's resolutions. And I think at the time, it was something that neither of us particularly did. But we sort of thought, well, if we was going to do them, what would we do as such? So I watched that episode back again and have our New Year's resolutions here. So let's see if we actually did them.
Did we see it through?
Let's start with you. And I know this is something we've talked about quite a lot, actually, throughout the course of the year. So it may be something you did. Your New Year's resolution was to platinum more PlayStation games. Has it happened? Is the question.
More games. I've definitely platinumed at least one.
Ever? Or
no, in the last year.
In the last year. Yeah.
However, no, that would have been 2023.
What game was that, just for reference?
Paw Patrol, Super Pups, Mighty Pups, something like that.
And how long did it take you to platinum it?
Not long. If anything, I was trying to kick George off just so I could play it. It's my game, Daddy. No, I must platinum.
But you're doing it wrong.
However, over the weekend, one game that I've been so close to platinuming is Spider-Man Miles Morales. And I'm now only 4 trophies off of platinum it.
And what do you have to do? What are these trophies?
What are these well, one is the platinum one is get all the trophies, so you can count that one. Nice. So the other 3, one of them's like do 100 hit combo or something. I thought, I'm pretty sure you can't do that on the game, but hey, it must be. The biggest one was after completing the game. One of the trophies was complete the game again.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
a rough
So me
one,
and
isn't it?
me, but the only good thing about that is you have all the kind of suits, all the gadgets, and everything that you've
Ah.
gained. So you start the game with everything. So it is a little bit easier. So we actually done that at the weekend, but then that was 2023. So yeah, not
You failed.
really platinum to that many games. Trying, but failing.
You did
What
one
was
though,
yours?
so well, mine. There's a few that I had. Two of them were learn guitar or learn how to play guitar better. I think is what the
Betterer.
general thing was. I've not done that. I've picked up my guitar a few times, but I've not invested any time in getting any better than I am now. The other one, which is something that's been on my list of to do things for a very long while, is to publish a colouring book, and this is something that I've done most of the stuff. I've got all the stuff together, all the pictures together. I've done the cover. I've done the wording for it and that. And the plan was to self-publish it through Amazon, which I start again to set up the account and everything. I just need to format all the pages. It's quite a tedious job.
That's amazing.
Still not done it. It's going to be so cool when I do it, but I've still not done it. So that'll go on the list for this year again. So, yeah.
Oh, I was going to say, have you got one for this year?
No. Well, no.
Well, that now.
Sort of. Something that's carried over, another creative thing, something that's carried over from last year. I meant to do so that it happened in the new year. Is I've got a huge amount of music that I've completed or that I've put out on different sites. I've platinumed this music and I need to put it out on all streaming sites. I've got a bit out on the streaming sites, but I've got lots of stuff. I've got old stuff from years ago. I've got new stuff that I've done, all arranged in little albums and stuff like that. So I just need to, again, go through the admin side of sitting there and uploading it and doing the track names and blah, blah, blah. It will happen, though, at some point.
I'd say one for us for this year would have to be get This Week in Metropolis mentioned on TV.
Well, funny you should say that. That was a beautiful link there.
Well,
for the listeners, that could become a reality. And the reason it could become a reality is we have applied to be on the TV show. And it's a TV show that you may or may not have seen called The Hit List. You might have done. Hit List. It's on Saturday night. It's presented by Marvin and Rochelle. And it is essentially... they play bits of music and you have to say what the song is.
And this stems back to me and Matt said many moons ago when we used to work together. We sat at opposite ends of the office and I would hum the smallest part of a song. And then Matt would go, I'd go, what was that, Matt? And he'd nail it every time. There was very rarely a time because it was every time.
That's it.
Basically, I mean, again, I don't know what I'm bringing to the table on this show, but hopefully, the laughs.
Oh, you're going to add that you will fill the holes in my knowledge. Is what I'm saying. You will all that 1975.
Yeah,
expertise that you'll bring to the table. Fight Star, all those Fight Star rounds that they're going to have.
I've never played Fight Star on there, but yeah, I agree. There is areas, but I'm much better at naming the band. So if you can just practice learning what all the songs
I'll shout the song name, you shout the band, and we'll be fine.
We're done.
You had to rank yourself, it said on there.
That was rank.
Rank yourself as to what you would prefer, like the out of 10, how well you and your partner would do if you was on the show. And I put 9 out of 10 that we would be.
Wow.
Strong.
If they don't sign us up,
did
you mention we do a podcast in the application?
Of course I did, in every other word. Yeah. So
speaking of every other word, subscribe to the YouTube channel. One of my New Year's resolutions is get more subscribers on YouTube. We want this to grow. I love the amount of people that have watched our show over the past series. That was incredible. And what I'd love more is to have more people get involved. more people contribute and be part of this community that has stemmed, over the past 3 years or however it has grown. So if you're new here watching, hit that subscribe button. We want to. The next goal for us is what, 200? I think we're at 158 at the moment. Let's get to 200, and then we'll see where we go.
Oh, exactly. And if you're hiding in the shadows and do listen, or we had someone a little while ago, I can't remember the name of the gentleman, but popped up and said, no, not findsex.com or whatever that one that keeps popping up is. Someone came on and said, I normally listen, but I thought I'd watch you before. If you're listening, check out the show live on a Tuesday. If you're, if you can't make it one day, don't worry, have a listen. But take part, reach out to us. We love to hear from everyone.
I'd agree. And speaking of everyone, should we just have a little look who's in the room and watching right now?
Yeah,
because I can already see a few lovely messages from people. So let's have a deep dive. Shane from Dawn of Comics, Happy New Year, lads. Happy New Year to you as well, Shane. Hope you're well, buddy. We've got Martin from Sonic's Comics. Happy New Year, guys. Same to you, Martin. He's also Martin's also quite impressed with the Paw Patrol.
Is he impressed or is he, laughing at you?
I think they're like
at you.
I think he's, that emoji could signal many emotions. I wish I could complete that game. Also, Shane wants to point out fancy intro. Thank you very much. Yeah. Again, partly created by Mr. Porteous himself. We've got the main man himself. Question Mark is in the house. Happy New Year, and same to you, Mr. Hayes. We've got a contribution from the big man himself later on in the show. We've got Isla. Happy New Year. Same to you. And we've got a few New Year's resolutions from some of the people watching. Shane says, my New Year's resolution is to buy less Power Ranger morphers. He has got a shit ton collection. Like they just keep coming out every time he posts something. He's usually got a Power Ranger morpher in it.
He's just going to go into the shops with a large freezer bag and strip the shelves and walk out.
Exactly, basically. Yeah, and Martin says he wants to read more this year. I mean, guys, you guys read a lot.
I would love that. I'm glad he said that. I've been seeing, I think, his post, and there have been a few others that have been posting what they've read over the past year, and I'm so jealous. It is something I really struggle to do.
Yeah,
is not read because I can read. Is to actually get through a book. I think the last book I read, it took me probably about a year, like in just various sittings, and I constantly buy books. So my book collection gets bigger and bigger, but I just don't read enough.
And I'm guessing one of my questions, I think I might already know the answer, Matt, because it's over Christmas. First of all, did you have a good Christmas, or was it average?
It's fine. Yeah, is what I would say. It's fine. There was no drama. Everything went smoothly. That's what I wanted. So,
And what would you say was your best present, Matt?
I'm going to disappoint you, James, because it's not the present you got me, although you got me a really nice present, which was Marvel book and Star Wars book, which will be very useful for the Dawn of Comics quiz.
Yes.
However,
the listen up, Jane. He's going to know shit.
I really liked. Well, it's something that I've wanted for a long while, and a friend of mine, my good friend, other James West, bought me, just to upset this James even more, is what's called a pocket operator, which is this little fella here, which is essentially a synthesizer like this. And if I press a button, I'm just going to see if it... Oh, I've got to work out a switch thing on. Hang on. Let's just wait while I fiddle around with this
just
thing.
Booting up. See if he'd picked the Marvel encyclopedia or whatever it was, then be a lot easier. It's just
okay, so I don't know how to turn it on is the biggest thing, but
Okay. Well, so you've clearly played with it a lot then. You love it that much.
I have. Well, I've played with it once, I'll be honest. But
it's
no, it's got batteries. Anyway, I can't turn this thing on. You'll have to believe me, it is a Street Fighter pocket operator, I can program Street Fighter sounds and I can make it do the. Oh, it's making sounds.
What sounds is it making there?
Simp sounds. I don't know.
Wow, this is riveting. I think we've lost Matt, guys.
This is top quality.
Just say hello to a couple of other guests who have joined us. Phil from Phil's Nerdiverse is here. Happy New Year, Phil. Hope you're well, buddy. He said he is his resolution is to watch Man United lift some silverware, and I can give you a live update. The last time I say it's live, I mean they could be losing now, but the last time I checked, Man United were winning 1-0. And we've also got Jason Parker from Jason Parker Comics. Hey guys, Happy New Year. Same to you, Jason. Hope you are well, and love to Amanda as well. Anyway, Marc's pointed out, James, you look so unimpressed with obviously Matt's. Do you want to know what my favourite?
I do.
Can you guess?
I'll look underwhelmed as well.
I
can guess what it is. I think you might be wearing your.
I am wearing it. It is this. What's it called? A comfy or a Mr. Comfy?
I call it a comfy.
It's just called the comfy.
Yeah, I think that's the.
It's massive. I'm going to stand over here so you can see how big this is. It's huge. It's got a hood.
That's for when James bulks up through exercise or eating or beer.
I mean, it's so big. It's so big. But not just that. I mean, it has been Baltic, hasn't it? The weather is that cold?
Huh? Baltic.
Baltic.
That's cold, that's cold place. Yeah.
Thank God.
You're thinking of Baltic.
Geography is a strong point of mine. Anyway, yeah, my parents bought me this, and I thought I'd wear it because I'm in my dining room. It's freezing. It's practical.
Save on the heating.
Exactly. Too hot, if anything. Live update, guys. Live update is now. Oh, hang on. 2-0. 2-0 to Man United. But this isn't a football podcast.
No.
We are going to talk about what's been going on, and yeah, I'm not going to lie. The last month, there's been a lot of deaths.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people have died. We don't like to talk about the heavy stuff here, but you know.
So we'll make it a short segment.
We'll make it a short segment. But one that you wasn't that bothered about, Maxi Jazz, the lead singer of Faithless.
That sounds really harsh. When you say that, he's very influential in dance music and that because of the songs they released. They were just never my cup of tea.
Maybe that's it.
However, I said earlier, I do have a slightly showbiz story about Faithless.
And you didn't tell me it.
It's one regret that I have. I have very few regrets in life, but when in the late 90s, I was working on a dance music website. It was like a very early magazine.
Yeah.
And I got to go to exhibitions. I got to get on the guest list to nightclubs and things like that. And that was really cool. And I was still at college. I was working part-time. And the guy rang me up and went, Matt, I need you to go to a gig because I can't make it. And I was like, no, I'm working. Because I was working that evening at the shop. And I was working at the time. He's like, you're on the guest list. You've got VIP pass. You can go and see Faithless. I need you to go. And I said, no, I can't go. I can't go and see Faithless. You're going to have to go. And I worked in the shop instead of seeing them. And the guy went there. He sat with Maxi Jazz. He sat with all the band. Watched the warm-up act, went backstage, did the lot, and I didn't. So, yeah.
Were you bothered?
At the time, no. But then looking back at it, thinking, that probably would be quite good. Yeah.
Hiss. New little feature there for This Week in Metropolis. We've added sound bites. Well... That is a cool kind of claim to Maxi Jazz fame. We also
I could have met him and I didn't, in summary. That was it. But I won't bother anyway.
We also lost Vivienne Westwood, very famous fashion designer. Have you met her or had the chance to meet her?
I haven't had a chance to meet Vivienne Westwood, but I think with people like Vivienne Westwood, I mean, she was, had lived a very, very good life, and I think she's made such great contribution to life. Even though those things are sad, I don't look at it as you've got to remember her as such, can't you, rather than dwelling on that fact. As such.
Yeah, I agree. And I remember my dad having like a Vivienne Westwood belt or something with like the logo and everything. And it was a big deal to him because I'm guessing it cost quite a bit of money, unless it came off the back of a van. Who knows? But yeah, it's one of them things.
It was a Tim Westwood belt, wasn't it?
And obviously, I hate to keep going back to football, but Pele, like probably the greatest footballer ever. Won the World Cup when he was 17.
There you go.
Ridiculous. So his funeral was actually today. So if you're watching this live, it was today. And we had a near death only within the past 36 hours.
That's very relevant to our show as well.
Yeah. Jeremy Renner, aka Hawkeye. I don't know if you've seen the full details on this, but basically the guy I think he has his own snowplow, and he's over the years, apparently, whenever they have mad snowstorms over there, he's gone out and snowplowed the roads.
Plowed the roads. Plowed the snow, yeah.
But he was involved in a serious accident. He was in this line always confused me, a critical yet stable condition. What does that even mean? I'm not a doctor.
He's very ill, but there's
hope.
All right, they're coping with it, I guess.
Yeah, but more info's come out today, saying that he is now out of intensive care. But he was suffering from blunt chest trauma. That sounds awful, doesn't it? And orthopedic injuries.
Feet.
Yeah. Well, I'd read an article yesterday that was saying, or a post or whatever, that was saying that basically one of his legs had been run over by the snowplow. Yeah.
God.
And it was like lost a lot of blood.
Yeah.
That's why I'm guessing it was really serious. But yeah, so best wishes to Jeremy Renner. Hope he's back. But I mean, God, that could just literally like redefine his career if it's that bad.
Yeah, hopefully he's going to be okay.
Hey, James and Matt, you have one new message.
What is this that feature you were talking about?
Well, if you'd seen the video, we have video voicemail now, and that means we've got a new message. So let's see what the message is.
James, Matt, hello, loves. It's me, James Payton. You know, Frank Longbottom from Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, Adolf Hitler from Captain America: The First Avenger, Tony Blair from Creation Stories, myself from the award-winning documentary Who is James Payton, and a spit and a cough in Glass Onion. See it now on Netflix. Anyway, loves, that's not important right now, but what is important is the following message that I am going to deliver to you right about now. So, without further ado, whatever that is, I don't know, I'll get on with it. Because I wanted to say congratulations to you both. Well done on your recent podcast, This Week in Metropolis. And forgive my red nose and slightly scratchy voice, I'm suffering from a cold for the first time in 3 years. Good. Excellent. Now, I should give you some advice, shouldn't I, on how to improve everything about what you're doing. Firstly, you might want to tone down the accents. Maybe speak a little bit more like me. Mellifluous and gorgeous and beautifully voiced. Rather than that, you know what I mean? Lovely, you know, all right, bruv. You know, none of that silliness. Speak properly, like they used to do on the BBC. Not anymore. So do that for a start. What you should do is watch this video on a regular basis and then learn how to speak properly, because that'll really help you. And people will give you more respect if you don't speak like an imbecile. Can I say that? I just did. I don't mean it, or do I? It's hard to know, isn't it? Anyway, you could try that. And if you'd like more tips, I'm happy to provide them, of course. All you need to do is send a check to me for as much as you can afford, and then double that. And I'll help you out all the way to the bank. Good. So well done on the podcast. Congratulations. Keep at it. Speak properly. Just do you, and you'll be fine.
Wow.
Well,
No one's ever called me an imbecile before.
I didn't think our accents were that bad, to be honest, but you know.
First and foremost, here's my first question. Who was that guy?
He is James Payton. He is, if you remember Captain America, and Captain America gets sent out to do the shows to get the money from the bonds. And there's a bit where Hitler sneaks around the back and comes to attack him and punches him. That's that guy. He's also Frank Longbottom, who's one of the characters in Harry Potter.
Don't watch Harry Potter, mate, but I can see Marc's here, so he definitely knows who he is.
There you go.
And also said, "What is going on?"
I know.
Well, I mean, it's useful information, really, from James. James, do you say?
James, yeah.
Yeah, strong name. It's useful information, so I will start trying to adapt my accent. If
That's nice.
does
Let's see what you're
help
doing there.
the show, I will speak more clearly and will be more concise with my words.
You just sound like a politician. I
you.
think is the thing. Yeah.
And I'll put my hands together while I'm talking.
Yeah.
'Cause that
So just
is
to
what they
emphasize
do
your point.
with the fun. Well, that was our first
Video voicemail.
voicemail. That's it. That's the one. That's what I was looking
We'll
for.
have to rewind the tape now and set it up again, ready for next week.
Yeah.
And we'll
Yeah,
see
'cause
if
there's only enough room for one, guys.
It's a very small tape.
It's a very small. That's what she said. Well, after that, some of you, we've got quite a few people watching us at the moment. Some of you may have noticed we done a post. Sorry, I keep slipping into that accent.
Isn't it? We did a post rather than done a post. I don't know.
We did a post. We did 2 posts. We done 2 posts in the last couple of days, which Matt, again, with a little bit of creativity, done host facts. So it was a picture of each of us, and it had some facts about our favorite movies, our favorite food. What else was on there, Matt? Our favorite band. So what I would like to throw out to the audience, and get your answers in, and we'll try and ping as many up as we can. But we want to know, if you saw that post, then fantastic. I'm sure you probably hit that like button and shared it, whatever you've done with your family. And but
block.
But what unfollow, get out. What we want to know is, what are your favorite band, favorite movie, favorite TV show, favorite meal? There was one more.
Favorite meal.
No, I said that. There was one more. Favorite
TV, favorite movie.
Yeah, movie.
I don't know. There probably was another one.
Gadget.
That was it. Yeah.
So we want to know. Just ping your answers on there. You don't have to do all 5 of them or 6, because there were 6. But just some of your favourites. Gadget. Thanks, Shane. Shane's seen it. But he also just wanted to point out about speech. One simply doesn't speak the Queen's English. One is the Queen's English.
What does it even mean?
That's quite a big. That sounds like quite a powerful.
James is going to be fitting that into every sentence. He's just become now. Yeah.
I am. But anyway, so get your answers in, and we'll try and view some of them. If you haven't seen what mine and Matt's were, go and check them out. They're on the socials. We won't tell you, but go and check them out. Let's move into some news stories, Matt, from the past month, or at least one for now, and then we can always go into another one a bit later on. But one that I saw that really interested me, and I thought Matt would love this. It's Lego related, and they're going into a different sort of. They're always looking at ways to change up what they do. So the one thing that I'm going to butcher this name now in my Queen's English is Hokusai. Hokusais. Hokusai?
I don't know what you're saying.
Hokusai. I'm assuming it's a Japanese or a Chinese name.
Okay.
An Asian name. I shouldn't just
Yep.
reference the countries in there. But they've started creating. This is for like adults, so it's like 18 plus age range on this. But it's art, so it's
Yeah.
creating art out of Lego, but literally like with a frame. And it's their new kind of art line that they're doing. So a 3-dimensional style, and this one from Hokusai's is called the Great Wave, and I've got a picture of it on my favorite gadget. Well, spoiler alert! If you can see that, look at that.
Which is a very iconic picture, isn't it?
Yeah, it's fantastic, and just kind of the detail on it, and then you obviously get that 3D element, but to the point that even the frame is made out of Lego and comes with like catches on the back for you to hang it.
Yeah, they're incredible, aren't they?
Do you have any idea what sort of value these are?
I remember a while ago they released the Beatles in art film.
Is this not new news?
It's been around for a little while. That's new news that they've done that particular picture. But I know a while ago they did the Beatles, and that was you had individual prints of each sort of made out of Lego. I think that was a couple of £100. It was quite a lot of money. How much is that one?
So you can purchase that for $100. Is that quite a lot?
That's not bad, is it?
Oh, let's get one.
I've got that in my wallet. No,
Ordered.
But no, the thing is, it seems silly saying, "Oh, well, that's not a lot." But when you've seen the price of Lego sets now, a lot of the premium Lego sets are a lot of money over the Christmas period. One that I saw was the DeLorean, which I had the original DeLorean set, which was about that big. It was, I think, it's about £60. It was quite a small one. And you could do it as 1, 2, or 3 in the different attachments. But this one it looks like it's about that big. It's just a really detailed set. It looks like a proper car. And that's £170. And like some of the actual building sets in that now are hundreds, because they, a bit like the article we posted recently, it's just appealing to the adult market, I think, so much Lego now, as much as it is the children's market. Really.
That's a good point that you make. I remember you posting that. Was that a hot take, wasn't it? I think that you done.
Yeah.
About the kind of what the marketing of it has noticed, that there's been a spike, but it's probably more down to adults buying toys. And as we know from, fellow YouTubers and podcasters, about kind of the kind of scale on price on some of them toys and things like that.
Yeah.
But they are toys that are like display. And again, that Lego one there, 100. Once you've made it, all right, I guess you get the enjoyment of making it and putting it together.
Yeah.
But then it just sits on a wall.
That's the problem I have with Lego. Now, I love Lego. I've loved Lego since I was little. And we've still got loads of Lego in the house that we'll never get rid of. But when I've bought sets in recent years, like I bought the Big Bang Theory house, and I bought the Friends house, and bought who had like a big Millennium Falcon and things like that.
Yeah,
I loved the experience of building them. What I then did with it afterwards, I was a little bit like, you can display it, but like the scale doesn't really work, and it just didn't. In the end, they having children, they just ended up broken up and mixed in with the rest of their stuff
in the box.
So, it literally that. Just I'll stick it in the box, and so that's always the thought in my mind when I look at these sets and think, oh, I'd love to build that. That looks really, really cool. And then I sort of the common sense in my head thinks, oh yeah, but in about a few months, someone like that'll be smashed up on the floor somewhere.
Would you want to have, like, if you're into Lego that much, or were into it and whatever, would you have rather have made something like that? I'm thinking of that Millennium Falcon. I've seen one of them in a shop display or whatever, and it's incredible, and it's big as well.
Yeah.
I can't imagine how long that would take to build. But would you have rather had like a display cabinet or whatever, like we've seen with Peter's got one, I think Triple G, Attention Second
Ben,
Geek Ben, he's
yeah.
got one, and I just think of them. And again, it's that kind of having a proud place where you've put time and sweat and tears, probably no blood, hopefully, but maybe some blood, who knows? But just having that on display.
Yeah, no, I some of the comments sort of reflecting how I've always felt about Lego. I just love building things. I just love thinking about how am I gonna build this? Like, how am I gonna build? I remember building cars that you could stand on or whatever, and it wouldn't break, and sort of different things with like the Technic Lego with steering and motors and that sort of stuff. It was just like it was so much fun using your imagination and sort of just creating something from nothing. It was always my thing more than anything. Yeah. I would, though, at one point in my life, if I ever had the room or the money, I would quite like to do like at the end of Lego Movie when the guy's got the whole town set up. With a train. I've never had a Lego train, and I've always had a bit of a soft spot for Lego trains.
Well, there you go. That's one bit of news. Shall we take a little bit of a detour away from some of the news? Because, as I mentioned earlier, we do have the return for season 12 of question mark.
Question mark. Hello, gentlemen. Happy New Year. Thank you for having me back on. My question is really simple this week. Is James Gunn a force for good or a force for evil? Question mark.
A question that's come up, has been everywhere, really, hasn't it, in recent weeks? What are your thoughts?
Well, mate, it's one of the huge stories, isn't it, of the past month. It's funny because usually when we have a break from the show, that's when, there are some big stories. And this was huge because we'd obviously had Black Adam. I think that was that came out just before we finished up season.
Yeah, I believe so.
And obviously the big reveal at the end of that. I mean, I've not seen the movie, so I haven't actually seen it. But the big reveal, which was widely reported, was that Henry Cavill was back as Superman right at the end. I think he done a post or a video about him returning.
I think they even, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I think they even announced that he was in it just as the film was being released, wasn't it? It was a really weird thing. It almost used marketing that you've got to watch it because there's this massive thing in it, which was a bit odd.
Yeah. What are my thoughts on it? I feel like what he's trying to do there is almost press the reset button and just clear the decks of what's happened. Now, whether he comes back to it and brings back some of what's already there, we'll have to wait and see. From the stories I've been reading, he wants to go back to like Superman when he was younger. I'm guessing probably other versions. Maybe it could all link in potentially with the Batman. We'll have to wait and see.
No, I don't think it is. I think even though, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was speculated that they were going to do a follow-up to that, but I don't think that's even been signed off. So I think that's potentially up in the air.
The Batman? I'm sure they've said they're doing a sequel.
A while ago they did, but I think recently it was announced that it's not even been greenlit at all.
Okay. But again,
so,
I'm just thinking James Gunn's probably seen there's so much work probably to be done to undo a lot of the mess. And listen, I'm just not a fan of the DC universe, how it's been done previously. I think we've said it many a time. We've had guests on who have said the same. They've tried to cling on to the coattails of Marvel and the MCU and keep pace with them, but you got to remember they were putting the building blocks in, however many years ago it was now. What are we up to now?
Well,
Like 12 years, 15 years. I don't even know.
Yeah, I've started watching the MCU films with my youngest because he hadn't seen any of them, and Iron Man was 2008, so it's a significant amount of time.
Yeah.
The way I look at it, it's interesting how two things. James Gunn did the new Suicide Squad. How well was that received? I don't know. I've not watched it yet. I know you watched it.
Yeah.
Clearly there was something in that for DC to think that's Guy from the job. But also it's been a real mix of the films recently with DC. It's interesting how there's a bit of a backlash with James Gunn because it individually the projects weren't greatly received. Like some were well received, some weren't. Some of the decisions weren't necessarily highly regarded, and you had the whole Zack Snyder stuff and like all of that sort of mess. So it's funny that people are like saying, "Oh, this is terrible, this is happening." You can sort of see why, like you said, James Gunn would want to say, "Right, that's it. I've got a plan. I need to execute this plan. So that means I can't start halfway. I've got to start from the beginning as such with it." But he made a comment in what was it? January 2nd, so very recently. A fan asked him a question, I believe online, about how previously in the studios of it, like DC studios, have interfered a lot with the process of filmmaking, and that whether he's concerned that would happen again. And how he responded was that previously people like Zack Snyder were quite not low in the pecking order, but there were people ahead of him that were making decisions, whereas now James Gunn and his partner, I can't remember the guy's name, they're at the top. Like they're calling the shots. So he said, "I'm not concerned about that because essentially I'm in charge." It was his sort of response to it. So.
And do you know what? I think that links to something Phil said. I noticed. Here we go. So he said, "The DCU is just too messy. I'm glad someone is at the helm. One Direction, being that
Harry Styles, Zayn Malik, the other ones."
They're all going to play different characters. No, but it's you're going to have a bit like Kevin Feige at the top of of Marvel, making them decisions. That's what we're going to get from James Gunn, hopefully.
Hopefully, a strong lead, and that's going to pull it all together. He just needs to get the right talent underneath him now.
The interesting thing there altogether, though, is that Guardians isn't even. I mean, I love the Guardians movies, but I wouldn't say they're the best movies in the MCU. It's not like it's not. Sorry, you've seen something. I can tell.
I'm sorry, Connie. I'm not a huge fan. I did well getting 2, but Liam, Louis, and Niall, love you as well. Didn't mean to be like that.
Going back, I don't think it's not like they've taken the best director. However, there was a lot of uproar when he obviously got kicked out of Marvel. And there was people saying, "I'm not doing any more." I think Dave Bautista was one of them. He said, "I won't do another movie." I think Bautista is coming away from Guardians after this because he said, "If James Gunn isn't there, I'm not there." So, there is a connection with him. So,
but that can only be a positive thing, I think. If you've got someone in charge, you need the strong talent underneath, and if he can attract Wayne, the same as Marvel has, if he can attract the actors, if he can attract the directors, and so on to support him in that vision, that's what it's all about, isn't it?
Yeah,
and
I think
there'll be success.
I don't necessarily think he's like Elon Musk and gone in and gone, "Let's change shit for shits and giggles."
Yeah, no, exactly. It's not vengeful, and I think that a certain amount of how it came across, oh my God, Henry Cavill, he's devastated and so on, and I only say that, I'm sure a lot of people feel that way, but I not really got much invested in him as Superman, but You know, it felt like a bit of a personal thing of they've only just offered him the job and then they're snatching it away or whatever.
I think that's it, isn't it? But people will forget that very quickly. That's
yeah,
what
definitely.
We
when the next DC film comes out and it is absolutely amazing, they'll forget anything happened and it'll be
exactly.
You know,
I mean, in my mind, when I saw that, I mean, as funny as I found it for the fact that they'd announced it and then he's got in my head, all I could hear was. Poor Henry. Very, very dull person.
I watched over Christmas, or not over Christmas, probably last week or so. The original Superman was on, and my God, that's a great film. It's not aged very well.
With Christopher Reeve.
Christopher Reeve, yeah. There's some bits that you think this is a really old film, and I can tell, but. The thing that film has for me, and I guess it's because I remember watching it when I was little, is it has that thing that certain movies have, and like the cinema in general has, that it's just magical, and you watch it and you're taken to a completely different place watching that film, and seeing Superman grow up, and just all of the scenes, him as a teenager with his adopted parents, and so just incredible. Absolutely incredible.
And I think as well, I've watched. I'm not going to say because there will be a 1-minute review coming out of it in the next few days, maybe. But I've watched an old film, and there you have got to appreciate when that film came out. And don't judge it just necessarily on.
But you did. That's all I'm saying.
Just wait.
I know the film, and I know how he feels about it. It's a film I like, and he's wrong. So yeah, there you go. But talking of films, let's go to sort of just a quick recap on last year. Let's sort of look at some of the films. What would you say? Because we sort of had a little chat earlier. What would you say are your what was the film you enjoyed the most in
last
2022?
year?
That brought most joy, would you say?
Most joy? No, I wouldn't say it brought me joy. I'd just say I just really enjoyed it. And we done a similar question on Ben's Geeky Gas Bag show. The Batman for me was just I absolutely loved it. I honestly thought how intense and dark it was, the mood of the film. I think we both agreed, like on Ben's show, that was like our favourite film of last year, or comic book movie. Yeah, it just ticked all the boxes for me. I was worried about it, but for me, it was it was amazing.
It was a very, very good film. Mine, I think, is one that I saw very, very recently. Was Violent Night, and that's a film I really didn't know about until about a few weeks before. My oldest told me about it and said, "Oh, this film's coming out. I think you'll really like it." And I absolutely loved it. It's just a riot. If you don't know, I'm sure you probably do, but it's about it's a cross between Die Hard, Home Alone, sort of thing. In that you've got Father Christmas in a house while the house is being robbed, and it comes down to the fact that Father Christmas has got to sort stuff out. And it just turns out in a previous life he was a Viking warrior who liked killing people with a large hammer. So he sort of channels that energy, and you get a fun Christmas movie with lovely Christmassy movie and scenes. And then, as Shane has rightly said, you've got extreme violence from Father Christmas, and also there's a little girl who escapes and is sort of pranking these people with various sort of booby traps and that, like in Home Alone. And again, horrific. Some of the things that happen. It's like Shane said, it's like Home Alone. You see things. You see someone being hit by an eye, and you think, "Oh my God!" Like if that happened in real life. But then in Violent Night, you see what would happen in real life of the person being mutilated. But it was basically, but it was so much fun. It was what sort of slasher horror films should be, fun in that sense. It was just a fun story. It didn't care, but what it cared about was getting the Christmas bit right, getting the gore right, and it just nailed it for me. It was a real surprise, which was brilliant.
Nice. Oh yeah, good shout. I haven't watched it, so I do need to watch it.
And your disappointment? What would you say is your disappointment last year?
What film?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably again keeping with the theme of what we tend to talk about. It would probably have to be Thor: Love and Thunder. I felt very disappointed with that. Well, as I've mentioned several times, I fell asleep during the movie in the IMAX. Yeah, just didn't do it. And if I was going to throw a rogue one in, because I've said that a few times. The one I watched last week, actually, which was still within the year, Barbarian. I know loads of people were raving about it. I just didn't. And
I need to watch that.
Well, yeah, so I won't say too much, but there's some bits in there that I'm not going to say it again. There's some bits in there that just didn't make sense to me. That's all I'm saying.
My disappointment in the year was Bullet Train. And Bullet Train was a film that I saw the trailer of that and thought, this looks great. This looks like a fresh sort of film, a really cool idea. Looked cool as such as well in a like a Tarantino sort of way. Watched it and I just thought it was average as hell. And it was just the fact it was trying to be cool. Like it had all the characters that were trying to be cool, and it had like the dialogue that was trying to be cool, and it was just trying to do something. And I just felt it felt a bit flat for me, which was a bit of a shame. Yeah,
Interesting.
Which brings us to the final section of movies: is what do you want to watch? What's your film that came out last year and that you think I'd really like to see that?
A film that came out last year that I want to see.
Yeah, no, you've not seen yet, and you thought that looks good, but you've not got around to checking it out just yet.
It's probably not that many. I tend to watch most. There's one that I've got that I'm going to watch, which is Maverick. I haven't seen that. Again, heard good things about it. So let's see, if that's any good.
Yeah. Mine is a film called Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Well.
Have you seen it?
Well, no, Marc's still in the chat, I can see. So I hope he heard that, because he recently shared a post on Facebook about it and said that it is incredible. It won't be for everyone, he said, but give it half an hour and you'll decide whether it's for you or not.
Yeah.
What do you know what it's about?
It's about an immigrant lady who's being investigated by the IRS, who discovers she has to go to parallel worlds to find something. I can't remember exactly what it is. But yeah, it just looks mental, the way she's skipping from place to place and so on. That looks great. That's my sort of thing. So I at some point I will check that out. That's on the list, definitely.
Yeah. And there you go. That's the difference, isn't it? Shane says, tried to watch it, Matt, couldn't finish it.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, there you go. There's a few things that for us to look forward to in the coming weeks. And actually, I didn't get to answer earlier, but my New Year's resolution this year, other than to calm down on my road rage, which already I've failed miserably on, is I want to watch at least one new movie, and that doesn't mean it's a new movie out this week, but one film I haven't seen before per week.
Nice.
At least.
Yeah.
So far, I have done that. But we are still in week one.
Week one.
But there are so many, the Godfather movies, never watched them. Don't know whether they're my thing, but,
Godfather is one of those funny things where Godfather 2 is probably better than Godfather 1.
Okay.
Both
Well,
fine films. I've never seen Godfather 3 though.
Mm.
It's not one.
Jojo Rabbit. That's one I've got sitting there that
Yeah,
I've never watched.
That's meant to be very good, isn't it?
Yeah. So there's
Well,
there's-
I saw another film at the weekend,
Hmm.
which was amazing. That I just couldn't. Me and the boys were sitting there watching. We just couldn't take our eyes off it. Was a Fantastic Mr. Fox, which was probably a few years ago, if not more. It's directed by Wes Anderson, and it's
Oh,
all
wow.
stop frame animation, voiced by George Clooney, and that is Mr. Fox, and there's all different really big names in it. Incredible, absolutely incredible film. Yeah, thoroughly recommend that. Yeah,
Everyone's telling me I need to make a list.
you should make a list.
Yeah, I should probably make a list.
Because then you've got structure to it. 'Cause otherwise, you've got nothing to plan.
Yeah,
I
think that-
I was just going to say, I've got like over 500 films on Plex, which are ones that I've either seen for or I really want to see. When I get time, I'll watch them. But it's without that, next week I'm watching this. It's a lot harder, isn't it? Yeah.
Have you lost me? No, I'm back. I can see
No.
myself loading there. Yeah, so exciting times. Lots of new things coming up. But last story of the day. Speaking of new things, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Speaking of new things, and I thought this one again, a bit like the Lego one. I thought he'll love this, and I mean you'll need to go to America for it. Just saying. But Super Nintendo World has its official opening day at Universal Studios in Hollywood.
Wow.
It's going to be opening on the 17th of February. So,
can you drive Mario Karts? I think that's the question on everyone's lips for it. I think we may have lost James.
hello.
And he's back. My question was, if you didn't hear it.
No, I heard it.
Yeah.
But just to get, you can. So you can go into the world of so Mario. There's a groundbreaking Mario Kart ride. It says so. You know what that involves. Who knows? But basically, they opened one of these in Japan last year. No, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
In 2021. So now they've opened this one, and yeah, there's you battle Team Bowser in the Mario Kart ride. You can play interactive games throughout. You can score with a power-up band. So I think there's like thing you wear this band and you tap it on things.
Oh,
you can dine at Toadstool Cafe.
Wow.
Meet Mario and his friend. That's a bit rubbish. And you can purchase exclusive merch at the One Up Factory store. So, but it is at Universal Studios Hollywood. So I don't know how that fits in with if you were going to Disney or whatever. I'm guessing that's not near.
Well, and there's Disneyland in California, so it's probably near that, isn't it? But it'd be cool, and I guess they're doing it right in time for the new Mario film, aren't they, this year? Because that will bring the buzz back to Mario and all of that. Those different things.
Hello, sorry, my internet appears to be rubbish this evening, just right at the end.
Well, at least it's right at the end. It's all
everyone's gone.
Well, to finish up, let's go. It's probably a good time to finish up. Phil and Martin have been discussing you watching a film a week is a good thing to have on the show. So we can make you accountable for it, that every week you have to report on what film you have watched.
That's a good idea. Good idea, guys.
There you go.
Now I feel the pressure. Well, I just want to quickly run through, because we did throw it out to the chat, some of your favourite
things. James is wanting to say but can't. So yeah, Highland G, favourite band, probably AC/DC. Good choice. Love AC/DC. Movie, Pulp Fiction, again, very, very good choice. Controversially, I think Pulp Fiction of mine, favourite Tarantino film is Jackie Brown. Pulp Fiction I love, but I don't know how well it holds up now, but that's probably a controversial comment. Gadget, your new 3D printer. Definitely, if you don't follow Highland G, please do on Instagram so you can see what he's been printing with his 3D printer, because it's blowing my mind and it's making me want to buy one every time I see what he posts. So yeah, amazing. James, back?
Yeah, I'm back. And if you can
you
hear
want to
me,
do Shane's?
Yeah, Shane. So band Wax Fang, not heard of them. Movie
Never heard of
Phone
Wax
Booth.
Fang.
Phone Booth. I loved Phone Booth. That was a really good film.
Mm.
TV show Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Gadget. MMRPR Morphers. Oh, Mighty Morphers. Power Ranger Morphers. And Mill Chimichangas.
Nice.
And Phil's. Yeah, my favorite gadget is Highland G's 3D printer.
It's incredible.
I think that's it on the favourites. Oh, and we did have Isla, Parenthood. Great film.
I have not seen that film for ages.
I thought you was going to say 8 weeks.
No, not 8 weeks. Ages. Do you remember it, James? Steve Martin.
I know the film.
lots of
Didn't they do a
actors.
remake of it as well?
Yeah. Maybe. I don't know.
Like a modern one.
And Phil, late entry. Led Zeppelin. Awesome. Back to the Future. Buffy. Roast beef dinner. Good choices. What's your gadget? No, Phil, you haven't. Oh, no, you said it was Highland's printer, wasn't it?
That's it.
Cool. Well, that is the end. Everyone. It's been
Not forever.
Not forever. We are coming back. We've been off for a month, so we've got 9 more episodes to do before we're off again. And
excitingly, Matt, we've got guests coming as well. New guests.
We like to do the first one just us, just so because we don't talk. It's just so we get.
We're not
that
actually
out of the way.
friends.
We break the seal as such on the first episode. So yeah, it helps. And then we got lots of exciting guests that James has been booking. Let's say.
Yeah, when my internet works.
When his internet works, otherwise he's going to write them a letter.
Exactly, and send it by pigeon. But yeah, thank you to everyone who has joined us this evening. And again, I'll repeat what I've said, and I'll keep saying it every episode because it is one of my New Year's resolutions. Please do subscribe to our channel. Let's build it up. Tell your friends. I'll probably post once a day about it, maybe. We'll see. But yeah, we look forward to next week's show, next Tuesday. Thanks, and we'll see you soon.
Hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe on your favorite service. Past and future episodes can be found on all major streaming platforms, including Amazon, Apple, Google, Spotify, and YouTube. You can also contact James and Matt via Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. They will return in the next This Week in Metropolis.